Welcome back to the channel and to a new series in which we're going to be profiling a number of the best courses from 2K21 that you should go back and play, each one from a different top designer. And in that we're going to highlight some of the best aspects of each course, including the best par 3, best par 4, best par 5, entirely my own opinion, as well as different aspects of course design where this designer has particularly excelled, so that when you replay you've got an idea of what exactly it is that makes this course so special. And then with the first one, we're going to start with a contest winner, and this is last year's CC contest winner, which is Yellowgrass Prairie from Mattyfromcanada. And the key thing that we're going to focus on with this course is plot creation and spacing. Now this is set out in various kind of ranch prairie land up in Canada, and as you can see as we're zooming around, the plot is huge, and the amount of space that he gives to each hole, if we just look at this second hole here, really fits that setting. This is not a sort of course where you'd have wanted an intimate close routing. This is one where you wanted everything to feel big and bold, and you'll see that the playing surfaces themselves are also really huge. The bunkers are giant, and it all just fits, and it has that real sense of place. There's a great Fried Egg podcast on that as well if you want to listen to that. As a result, the course itself really fits for that contest as well, because there was so much space around. It meant that you were able to hit shots pretty much everywhere. Angles into greens really mattered because there was so much space on the fairway, and the land movement could really shine because everything was so big and bold. And that's why this course really stood out to me as one to begin with this series with, because it's not, it fits in with its surroundings really nicely. The planting's great, the hole designs themselves are great, but the thing that set this course apart ahead of any other was that feeling that it really belonged in its environment and the environment itself, and that just spacing worked perfectly. So without further ado, we're going to leap in and look at a couple of the best holes. Now, an opening hole always gives you, I feel, a really good insight into what the course is going to be. And the first hole on Yellowgrass Prairie is a long, really sweeping par 5. Obviously profits from the really good lighting, but you can see there's huge amounts of space for you to put your tee shot on. You shouldn't really be missing very many fairways around this course. However, the second shot, it's a long par 5, very strategic. Where do you want to attack this green? Green, again, big, but with some bold contours and ways to run your ball into pins. Again, really sets the tone well. Best par 3, and we're at the third. And this one, again, I think gives you that immensity of the backdrop. Look how much you can see there, and this hole that's just going off over the gorge. You can, if you go long, you can get yourself into some trouble, and this little back shelf is a tricky place to put a pin, but it's just a lovely, beautiful looking hole. Now the best par 4, and like with the 3s, there were a lot of candidates, was this 11th hole, which again, the fairway sweeps massively from right to left. You see a huge amount of the plot. Where this one really shone for me was the approach shot, because everything's going very severely downhill. You'll notice as we're coming into the green that the green kind of goes from front to back, which makes you think about where you're going to land the ball for a front pin. You've got various slopes you can use, and if it's a back pin, actually it's a bit more generous. You can land the ball middle of the green and release it down, or you can try to fly it all the way. Those options for me makes this a really special hole. Favourite par 5, and as you'd expect from a contest winning course, there's a really good selection. Now for this one I've chosen it because of the green site, and most of the excellent green sites here I think come when you're right up against that gorge. You can see 16 in the background, and that approach shot you've really got to carry a load of trouble to get there, and also feel like you're not over hitting it and going long. The green itself has kind of some interesting sloping that can work the ball to or away from pins, and I thought this was the one that really stood out for me. And the final hole we're going to profile is the 18th. And one of the things I've always loved about Matty's designs is his ability to take chances. Now, both 9 and 18 are short par 4s. Typically, we see long par 4 or par 5 closers. But this short par 4 gave you exactly what this course wanted to do. Loads of options, loads of width, some really funny pins like this one, and just a variety of different ways to attack it. It really summed up the course perfectly. So to finish up, we're just going to leap back into the designer and have a little look around what things you can take from this. Now, for me, I think firstly width. This is huge, 86 yards wide of fairway. But look at how much elevation change there is as well there. 28 feet is huge. And I think those two really need to go hand in hand. If you're going for this wide of a fairway, it allows you to be very bold with the contouring and the elevation change. You can then have some very uphill shots, some very downhill shots. It allows for a huge amount of interest. You can have big hazards. So, for example, we're seeing with these bunkers spanning 40 yards of fairway. That, again, is pretty much huge. What you want to be wary of a little is kind of making those tee shots not matter. So let's have a little look at the second hole. If you're playing from the back tee, well, a tee shot down here is going to run into those, but your ideal angle, really, you want to be looking down this green as much as possible. But for this pin, you could be playing at it from this way, so maybe you want to run this way, as further over this way as you can. But again, that camber and where the fairway is are going to matter. You want to be thinking about where the ball's landing versus where it's going to end up and what that's going to let you end up with. What I think that does wonderfully on this sort of course is mean that you're not playing to a number. You're kind of going more on feel and instinct, and you're getting a bigger variety of shots than a flat parkland course where you know how far your driver carries, you know what club you're hitting in, and you know it's going to stop. If we looked at 4, for example, we're just picking holes one by one. This one is going to be from the middle tee. Well, again, camber is potentially taking us off this side of the fairway, so we're really just trying to hold the fairway. And then the approach shot is all just this really quirky, how can I run the ball close? And for this front pin, how can I not end up down here and face a monstrous putt back? That might be too difficult. So it's just posing you some very different challenges and ways in which you can get the ball close. And I think that's what made this course also quite special. It's just fun to play. You can bounce the ball in different directions. Great example again would be 9, the one that closes this front 9, which could have been a contender for the best par 4. It's drivable par 4, 290 odd up the hill, but the elevation change again makes you think about how far it's going to carry. You've got this mound in the middle of the green. If you're the wrong side of that, it's not an easy up and down. And so you wonder where you're playing to play strategically, and it's going to change based on different pins. All of those sorts of things came in from this course in abundance, but look at the spacing. It's not a tight routing. You've got 300 yards between holes. You've got 635 yards this way. The reason people don't want to do that, because you have to plant a lot of stuff, and this grass planting took him ages. The bridge work would have taken him ages. But it really gets that course giving the feel that he wanted to. And that, for me, is what makes this course so special. So that's Yellowgrass Prairie Club. Give it a play. Enjoy it. It's a really fun course. We'll be profiling a number of these courses over the next couple of weeks as hopefully we move into a new game announcement. But yeah, enjoy and see you soon.